I hope you're all well. Welcome to my channel. This is where I talk about twin flame consciousness. So I am going to do a reading today. It's just after the moon, a few days after the new moon that we went through, which is in Sagittarius, I believe. It is the 28th of November. So I'm going to do a reading. Just to explain why I didn't do a moon reading as well, in case anyone's interested. One was that I was guided not to, basically, because there was no need to do one. I'll try and explain that. And then another that coincided to stop me doing it is that my laptop went kaput for a little bit until I managed to get it repaired or looked at. So two things coincided. And also just to share a little bit about my personal experience, because along with everybody else, I've been told I'm reuniting with somebody by my, whatever you want to call it, the guides, Pleiadians, vibrational oneness, telling me that I'm going to reunite with someone. The non-physical basically saying that, and have been for a very long time saying that, still are saying that. So and then the last few readings that I did, so I can't remember exactly what was the last one, it would have been a full moon, were about basically it's happening now. So, and the reason that I didn't do the new moon reading, the reason I was guided not to, is because they just said it's now. So, and it's not happened. So now is, again, it feels like just kind of this weird, like, where is it kind of a feeling, because it's supposed to be right now. And then I had two really strange things happen over the moon. One was I was told to go shopping, basically. So I went to this city to go shopping, and I had this really strange interaction in a shop, which I won't go into in detail, but I did tell someone very sternly to go away. And I've never felt this amount of like power rush through my physical body as I said it to this person. And it was like I put my face right up to their face and said it, and it went hot on the inside. And it's all about coming into loads of power. That's about that, creating power. So that's creating power in the shared connection between me and my twin. The power that is required for the reunion to complete, basically. So I don't know if you experienced anything like that. And it's like a strength, and it's kind of like I felt hot inside, but I didn't go into a panic attack or feel like guilty or ashamed or worried or anything. In fact, I walked away laughing and feeling like full of joy, even though it was like a really like intense thing that happened. And of course, I won't go into detail, but looking on it from a egotistical, egoic point of view, it would be like, oh, you're a terrible person, like I am a terrible person, kind of a thing. But I've had quite a few of those over the last few months, where it's like if you looked at it through an egoic lens, I'd be the one that was like, you'd be like, oh my God, what a bitch, or who does she think she is, or why is she such a horrible person? But all of these were situations where I just kind of, they're saying redress the balance as I'm talking, like redress the balance, basically. So I told people to get lost. And this is just another one where I said basically get lost. And then this really weird thing happened, which was I told you a while ago about my nephew coming back into my life. He came back on a new moon. He then came back on a full moon. This is someone who, when they were a little boy and I was a lot younger, it's 20 years ago, we had a really strong connection. There was a lot of love. And he came back into my life just out of the blue. And I saw him, and it was really good to see him. And he came back again to see me. And the second time he came back to see me, I realised there's something going on there, this lower case narcissism. And then this time we had a conversation around the moon. And again, it just hit me full on. You know, when you're having a conversation with a narcissist and you're just completely disabled because they cut you off at every corner, at every turn, with what is the dismantling, the attempt to dismantle your vibration. So I noticed it in the first and the second time I saw him, which was just mild shaming. So there was some of that going on, which is really narcissistic. Then dismissiveness. Then the second time he was supposed to see me, he actually didn't. He cancelled at the time he was supposed to arrive. He cancelled. So again, and that kind of did something to my vibration. This time was a conversation, and I was just. It was that feeling of exasperation because the conversation couldn't go anywhere because he just. It comes full circle. So it's just weird anyway. So that's that narcissistic kind of like bringing it straight back to something. It like have a conversation about one thing about him, and it goes nowhere. There's no answer to it because obviously he's got these issues or whatever, and I'm trying to give him help because that's what I do anyway when I talk to people. Just automatically, I go outwards and I try and assist, and sometimes with the assistance of non-physical, and it was, and then we get to the end of that one, and then he comes straight back to another one, which I thought we'd already completed. And he'd be right into, and then he'd be like, "Well, of course I can't do that because of this." And I'm inside. I'm like, "Well, we already talked about that, and you were given assistance, but again, you're there with I can't because of this." And it was all just like at the end, you're like exhausted from it. So at the end of that, what was about an hour conversation on the phone, I was just like, that's it, I'm done. I don't want to see or speak to him again. And the thing is, he doesn't remember me at all. So he doesn't remember anything from when when I used to see him when he was a little boy, when I was a lot younger. He doesn't remember anything. So he doesn't really remember me. So he doesn't remember that we had that connection, and he doesn't feel it. And I no longer feel it, actually. I'm just like, oh my God, I never want to speak to you again because it's exasperating and it's exhausting. And it's just like, oh, it's not what I want in my life. It's not a case of I hate you or anything like that. It's just like, oh, I don't, there's much more pleasant ways to like experience life than having draining conversations with people who don't even remember you. So it just was a let go, right? Because that was one of the people that I couldn't let go of, because I still felt a lot of love for them. One being my brother, he came back, he's gone, he's a narcissist, a big old narcissist. I still love him dearly. He's not in my life though, because I can't have it in my life. Nephew, same thing. And the other one was an old friend, I think, although I'm not sure, maybe it's my twin. So there's definitely a third, but I'm not sure if it's the old friend. Anyway, if it was the old friend came back and he's gone. And if it's my twin, he hasn't come back. But it's cleared because I no longer feel anything there either. So, and I no longer care, basically. Apart from I just like this thing to round up now. I'd like it all rounded up and, all the sheep in a pen and it just done and dusted and moving on. So, but the really weird thing that happened with that was the night after I'd spoken to my nephew. I woke up in bed. It was around 3:23 in the morning. I went and got my phone and I looked at it to see the time. And also, I noticed on my phone it has that red mark where it says it's a missed call. You've had a missed call. I looked at the missed call. 3 a.m. on the dot was missed call from my nephew, which I know is not him calling me. It's like just one of those things that the non-physical throw up. 300. So is that 3 people? 3 is also growth. They keep showing me the 3 of Pentacles, which is creation and growth. So created something through that scenario. Could be the 3 people I've let go of. Although, I feel it's my twin, the third one. It's got a much bigger, stronger energy than my friend. He's also they're both soul connections, but it's much stronger, the energy around it. Then I was looking at my phone and I was just lying there in bed, and suddenly my phone called my nephew and I'd done nothing. And I was just looking at it, I just clicked it off, like delete. It just called him on his own. And I know your phone can do that because it's done it before when it's been in my bag and stuff. It's called people. And I thought they're calling me because I've always got my ringer off, and it turns out it's not me, it's my phone that's dialed them. And it just did it right in front of my eyes. It did it. And it's funny because I wasn't phased. I wasn't like, oh my God, my phone's calling someone automatically. And I hadn't said anything. It wasn't Siri. I haven't got Siri enabled anyway. So I hadn't said anything. So even if it was a glitch with Siri, it wasn't that. It just did it automatically. And I was just like, yeah, right. And like, that's telling me something as well, although I'm not sure what. Maybe that communication can occur like out of the blue. Anyway, whatever. So that was that. And then my vibration dropped drastically yesterday. Just that thing again of like, you think everything's cleared and you think you're in the right spot and they're saying it's now. And I thought I was done with everything, and I was like so happy that I was never going to have to be miserable again. And all of a sudden, vibration dropped yesterday. I was physically exhausted, aches and pains everywhere, particularly those ones that you get like down the backs of your hands and everything. Literally, like physically finding it really hard to move, like moving through mud, miserable, hangry, and eating loads, trying to ground. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so it's not finished. Nothing's finished. So I just said to myself, it's never going to finish. That's it. I'm with this for life, whatever it is. It's here to stay. It's never going away. There is no such thing as completion. But not getting angry about it either. Just, that's it. That's a fact of life, right? So that's what I've experienced. I'm coming here to do a reading, and then I'm not doing any more as far as I know, because I just have to stop now, and that's it. I'm done. There's nothing more I can say or give or have or do or be a part of with it. If he comes back, I'll put a video out saying he's come back. But that's it. I am now done. So maybe that's meant to be as well, even though I'm doing it quite egotistically and saying I'm done. Maybe that's all part of it as well, and I hope now I'm done. And that's why that's coming through, because it's actually a guided I'm done. So that's me, and then I'm just going to get a last set of cards out because I didn't do that moon, and I feel guided to do it today. And I just noticed we've got brand new beginning in the physical world at the bottom of the pack, which is the Ace of Pentacles. Sorry, I just need to get some reason that had disappeared. So there it is. Got that there. So let's just get some cards out. See what else they have to say. Anything that comes through about this. Another thing that did come through, right, which kind of for me, but then it'd be for everybody else, was at the end of the day, the triggers that you go through, right, where you get really angry and upset about the journey itself and the fact that the journey's over and the fact that you're connected to somebody and that you're having all their stuff come through you. So knowing that it's the masculine energy, the egoic energy that comes through you when you're getting mad and angry about the journey itself. And all that stuff that's just like, I'm sick of my life, I don't want to do this anymore, I want it over with, all that is the masculine energy, is the conundrum of the fact that it's coming through you and that it's another person coming through you, the one that you're connected to, so there's kind of nothing you can do about it coming through. Was they said to me very definitely, it's about how you deal with it coming through. So your let go at the end is like exactly that, right? It's just knowing it's going to come through. So maybe the fact that they're saying that I'm in this frame of mind where I've just got to live with this is how it is actually part of it as well, because that is then you don't get angry at the fact that you've got anger coming through you. So it's kind of cutting it off essentially through that aspect, kind of like just, okay, it is what it is. So I'm not going to respond to it in anger. I'm just going to let it flow through, just view it, kind of a thing. And that means that what I'm experiencing now with the drop of vibration, it's like I've been saying to myself, I'm just tired, because yesterday I was tired. So if I'm in a bad mood, it's because I'm tired. I had a drink the day before, so maybe I'm in a bad mood because I've got a bit of a hangover. So it's much more normalising what I'm going through emotionally, just had emotions jump out, than it is connecting it to a twin flame story. Because connecting it to the twin flame story all the time is meaning that you're going to be angry about that twin flame story. So maybe this is how it ends up anyway, that it just goes back to it just And a lot of the stuff that I've said ever, I've forgotten. It seems like it's just going away. Like I don't even understand it anymore. And a little bit will come through and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember they used to say that all the time. But I'd forgotten it completely. And that was about how, when you drop down in vibration and you feel all the aches and pains and everything, it's actually bringing in more light, because you rise up again into more happiness. And I'd completely forgotten that. Like I say, I'm just saying to myself, oh, maybe it's because I had a drink the day before, maybe because I'm hungry. And, I did a really long walk with the dog, so that might be why I'm tired. So it's kind of coming back to just being human as well, and letting go of the whole the higher understanding around things. And I feel that has to be part of it as well, part of the ending. Let's just go here. Right, so that jumped out. That's emotions. 7 lessons around emotions. And then we've got the King of Swords. Oh, there's 2 come out. Process, Hanged Man and the King of Swords. So that's process of the masculine brain, which is the egoic part of yourself as well, which is also your thinking capacity. So, and that's how you're connected through the thinking. It's the connection of the ego. So it's connected through the way that you look at your life. And if you're looking at it from a very human angle, and therefore saying things like, oh, maybe I'm tired because I had a drink yesterday, is actually the masculine energy coming through. So maybe this normalization that's occurring, that I'm experiencing, is the rebirth of the masculine coming back into their normal capacity of life as well. I don't know. We'll have to see. Then we've got Ace of Cups coming out. That's love. That's one love, unconditional love, energy of love. 10 of Swords, ending around the mind. So we've got that jumping out as well. That's 10 of Swords. Ace of Cups. I'll just try and move this a little bit so you might be able to see it a bit better. Ending around the mind. So that's it, right? It's the ending in the mind, but it's a different kind of an ending. It's like you're expecting when you're on this journey that your ending is going to be in a higher consciousness, right? Like, hallelujah! And operating from like some kind of higher perspective at all times. It doesn't feel like that at all. It feels like coming right back in to the physical body and operating from that. But actually, your physical experience is your spiritual experience. So your life is your spiritual experience, whatever your life is like. That's the spiritual experience. It's not being spiritual while alive. It's just being alive while alive, right? So like looking for the meaning of life. The meaning is just being alive. It isn't anything beyond that. That's it. Just to be alive is it. So High Priestess, so that's higher consciousness. Heart of the Matter's coming out. Page of Swords, the message. And so emails, texts, phone, possibly phone, more emails, texts, the page. It's a lot about the written word rather than Ace of Swords is more about vocabulary, like speaking. Ace of Swords is really throat chakra, I feel. Page of Swords is like a written message because it's lowercase, right? It's lower. And then we've got 10 of Pentacles, completion. So we've got 2 10s in a row. 10 of Swords, which is ending in the mind, and 10 of Pentacles, which is a physical ending. So again, so that's like they're saying it's ending. But the ending feels like a very different thing than you would expect it to be. Going from higher consciousness to an ending in the physical. So again, coming back into the physical perhaps, which is all about love, right? This is also, this Ace of Cups is like acceptance. It's oneness. So the acceptance is, like they say, so what is the spiritual meaning of being alive? It's being alive. So it's just the acceptance of this being whatever it is, and not being something like, not trying to contort it into something that it isn't. So all that resistance, of like, why isn't my life like this? Why isn't it moved on? Why can't, why isn't this happening? Why isn't that happening? All that resistance, right? That is not the oneness of it is what it is, and just it is. Another thing, I've got all this water ingress still. It's coming in through the floors and the walls downstairs. It's looking worse than it's ever been, and I know that's emotions. And as much, high consciousness still saying that will stop. It will just stop. It will just go away when this is all over. And I'm looking at it and I feel like I'm about to sink, and I feel like I'm drowning, like in this house. I feel like any minute I'm just going to get sucked into the void somehow, as the house kind of don't know what it's going to do, slip down the hill, or kind of water's going to come through the floors completely. Anyway, do you know what I mean? There's like this feeling of like an ending almost. This has to end in this house one way or another. Either I end with the house and we go under, or the house has to stop and we rise up. I don't know. It's like a weird. I feel like I'm in a weird like paradigm. Just me in this house, kind of sucking. It's sucking the water up, sucking the emotions out. As the emotions are being sucked out of me, all the emotions sucked out, is this house sucking out all this water. It's really weird. So let's go here. Divine love, the lovers. So we've got ending in the mind, a message, and divine love. And then here opposite the Ace of Cups, which is just the void of oneness. It's just an energetic whatever is whatever is. Three of Cups, which is happiness and joy. And then last one here, let's have a look. And then Knight of Wands, which is energy moving forward. So we've got the King of Swords, the masculine brain, the mastery over the brain, process of that, moving through a message, energetically coming forward. Underneath, fear in relation to all of that going on. So the fear, again, the house is showing the fear. The house is showing me fear, something to be afraid of. Water coming in, but I'm not. There's that weird thing, like I said, it's like returned into physical self, having a life that is cut off from higher self almost, but still. Maybe it's that duality I feel is now complete, because I'm not having to work at it anymore. So I'm not having to like talk myself out of the fear in terms of the house, because I do know I'm running with a broader perspective, understanding behind everything as like a shield, that I do know that is just a manifestation of my emotions, what's going on in the house. So I don't have to keep reminding myself of it weirdly. It's just like knowing it. So maybe you've got something like that going on, where you've got the broader perspective. It's like running in the background. It's like it's like you install a new program of higher self, and it runs in the background. You are higher self compatible, and it runs continually in the background without having you to like activate it. It's like when you start up a computer and a program starts running automatically because it's in the background and it's fully installed. So you don't have to like tamper with your computer and get it to work. Like, I've got my computer running. Oh, let me just like toggle on higher self. Because higher self comes on automatically. It's like a background noise. It's like a surround system. So that's what I feel that's about. That would also state there. Ace of Cups, which is oneness, which is hands-free, right? Because it's the oneness of vibrational understanding. We are what we are. What we are is vibration. And then we are vibration. 99%, 1% is human, right? So the higher understanding is that. And that's happiness and joy. That equates to the freedom, which is happiness and joy. So even what's going on in your physical life, you can still kind of access happiness and joy at a higher level than you ever have before, because that's also equivalent to the background noise of running the higher self program automatically without having to toggle around and try and get it up and running. And then that we've got that equating to no fear, right? Everything complete around fear. This is all mentality as well, because fear is in the mentality. So once you achieve this resolution, I was really talking in computer language, is the masculine online, right? Online mentally, moving forward energetically through a message being served. They're talking served server, right here, right in the centre, a message. Now, maybe that thing that happened with my phone, like I said, is just to show me anything can happen. Your phone can dial someone. Remember that. Anybody can find anybody's email address. They can find anybody's phone number if they're meant to find it. So any questions around that, how are they going to find me? I've changed my email address. I've changed my phone number. Any questions around that? If they're meant to, they will. And they always come back through that method. So they're going to. So it'll just happen that they come across it, or they're looking for it and they find it straight away. And maybe there's something that, you thought you had erased that was contact information that is not erased online, that they come across, something like that. Could be anything. Just to throw that in as well. So that's out there, that understanding. Right, let's go in the middle again. Page of Swords, relationship, Hierophant, higher relationship, message. That's the heart of the matter. Underneath, the Seven of Swords, the fear, and Three of Wands, which is in the vibration. It's a 3. The 3 is the growth, the opportunity, and it's in the vibration. The opportunity is on the horizon. It's about to manifest, basically. That's also now time. Let's go on him, the King of Swords, in the process. And we've got fruition coming out in the physical world. So again, about to drop. The penny is about to drop. The apple is about to drop from the tree in the Seven of Pentacles. It's the harvest time. It's fruition. It's about to come into being. So we've got that there. Knight of Wands down here. And the love that exists that can't be seen through the physical lens, basically. Still in existence. Everything that, the thing that matters, basically, that's still out there, which interestingly, like I said, I talk about myself again, is the love that exists that can't be seen with the physical, that's not there around you. So I've cleared everything now that I thought had to be around me. My brother, my nephew, I don't need them around me. I don't want them around me. My friend, if it was him, a third one, which I don't think it was, actually I think it's my twin, but I mention it anyway because it's there. But my twin as well, I've cleared it, pretty much. I've cleared it. Because the thing that's happened with my brother and my nephew as well has shown me people aren't, or they don't stay the same, they change, they become somebody else. So it would be starting again with somebody new, even if he came along, because he's going to have changed. So it won't be the same person anyway. It won't be, he'll be different. So whatever it is that I thought I loved or think I still love, it doesn't exist anymore in a sense, because he's going to be reborn. He's different. So, and that's not a negative or a positive. It's just a fact. People change. They grow and they change and they evolve. So it's kind of that, right? But then we don't know yet because he hasn't come back. So we don't know. Will I love him if he comes back? Will I, whoever he is now, will I love him? You don't know, right? So whoever it is that's gone that you're waiting to come back, it's going to be something you're going to find out about when they get back, if you love them or not. So that's good, actually. That's a really positive thing because it's a new adventure and it's all bets are off, right? It's an openness. It's like, okay, let's see how it goes. Let's see if we like it or not. Oh, how exciting. That's actually excitement, isn't it? It's like a new chance at love, basically. So that's exciting. Then we've got that there, Ace of Cups, which is that openness and oneness. And then we've got Three of Cups, which is happiness and joy. So I feel like what's coming along is happiness and joy down here from this openness to love again, to be accepting of what comes along. Just see what it is, And like I say, just personally, I'm letting my nephew go in exactly the same way I let my brother go. It's like, you're free to go. It feels like you're free to go. Thank you for coming back. It's nice to find out if we're going to be, close again. I feel we're not, but there's no hard feelings. It's just like, that's fine, you can go now. And the next one can come along. And if the next one is my twin, then maybe that's the third, right? 1, 2, 3. 3 of Cups, and the third makes you happy. I don't know. The third is happiness, right? So perhaps it is the love, messages, relationships, and the third one. So we've got it there. Let's go on the Ace of Cups. Power in the physical environment of the feminine. And like I say, I had a really strange interaction where I went right up in her face, right up in her grill, and said, "Go away," like that, which was so unlike me. And I didn't know where it came from, and it felt like fire moving through me. And there we have the fire moving through in the Knight of Wands. So maybe that fire moving through me is necessary for the outcome. because everything's connected, right? So it's like my whole chakra system lit up, basically, especially around the central sun, especially around my what you call it, here in the center belly, this thing upper here, this male chakra. What's it called now? I can't remember. See, everything's gone. I can't remember the name of the chakras. Doesn't matter, does it? The one that's about they're all about intuition, instinct, the sun one, the bright sunny one. Right, 3 of Cups, and then Ace of Wands, vibrational accuracy, point of attraction, and that is that fire as well that moves through. Ooh, that's that fire. Right, and then we've got Ten of Swords here, ending in the mind. So, and that, like I say, when I came out of that interaction and the fire moved through, I just laughed. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. Like, I was laughing at myself, you know? And there we go. Two of Wands, and that is moving through, moving on. Point of attraction as well, because it's through the 2 Wands. It's like 0 point. Let's see. Lovers, pain, and another 3, created through pain. So what you create through all the pain that you go through, that's everything that you feel, right? Everything. And I just say as well about that interaction that I have, and the fact that I felt the fire, and then and I walked away from it and I was laughing, because I'm really empathic. So I do, you know, I'd like, part of my brain was trying to like pull me back to say, oh God, poor woman, you know, that poor woman. But I just kind of reeled it back in to say, no, you've got to let go of that, because that's not what it's all about. That's not what point of attraction is about. So you might, because you start to feel then, right? You start to feel like the pain of the other person. And the big lesson as well when you go through this process is that a lot of people don't feel in that way. So you being empathic and feeling that way, like, oh, they must be feeling so much. A lot of people don't, because they're not on that same wavelength. They're higher on the narcissistic spectrum, so they don't actually feel. They function from ego, and you can't really wound them in that way anyway, that you would be wounded if someone did that to you. So it's kind of a, you know, this duality of experience, duality in the 2 of Wands, and walking through. This is like you walk through the fire, right? So you don't get touched by the fire. So it's like I felt that heat inside. That inside, once I would have been like it would have gone to my face. You know, my face would have gone red, and I would have been really upset and angry at myself, and really upset and angry at life, and just, oh my God, and everything's terrible. None of that happened. I just like, let it go, let the pain go. All very necessary as well for him moving forward, because that's about overcoming fear, and the fear of yourself and what you can do and what you can be like. And particularly for my twin, who is very, very, very on a knife's edge in terms of like, can go off like a rocket, like what do you call it? Almost like temper tantrums, you know, stomping his feet, shouting, that kind of stuff. So maybe it's something to do with that, not being afraid of himself, that he's like that sometimes, and not having, you know, feeling like, all right, well, I can do that. And I saw myself going through it, and I was recognising the whole situation, and I was compos mentis the whole situation, ending in the mind. I didn't go out of body, which is what you do when you have a panic attack and you leave yourself because it's too awful. I stayed right in myself and I laughed. So that's maybe why that happened as well, because you sometimes something really awful, you just leave yourself, and so that you don't have to experience it. And he does that, has done that in the past, and he'd say things and not remember saying them, and do things and not remember doing them, because he's left himself. So it's probably about him actually, and not having to do that, or being able to do things and not do that, instilling strength basically. Right, and then we go on the High Priestess, and we've got vibrational accuracy again in the 4 of Wands. So yes, it's stability in the vibration. So what it is about being alive, basically. Stability in the vibration, because then you can manifest anything you want. you automatically manifest whatever it is that you need. It's not even about like, oh, let me think about what I might want so that I can manifest it, because that doesn't matter. If you're not feeling good, it still won't manifest. Vibrational accuracy is feeling good no matter what, so that anything, even what you don't know that you want, that you didn't know that you want, that's right in the back of your mind, manifests anyway, because it manifests from the aspect of feeling good and not the aspect of feeling bad. That's again about why the water ingress will end and just disappear, because it's manifesting, because it's coming from whatever feeling bad is left. And as soon as that feeling bad is gone, which is pretty much now, it will stop and it'll recede again. It'll just go down, it'll go away. Yeah, there'll be some watermarks that we'll have to paint over, but that'll be about it. Right, so Ten of Pentacles. They're saying actually even those will heal if you left them long enough. Knowing me being a Virgo, I'll probably paint it. Right, Ten of Pentacles. This is the last card. Says physical completion, and this is a now line, by the way. So, like I say, High Priestess, higher self, right? In physical environment is just having all feet on the ground, having everything in alignment, and feeling absolutely hunky dory with everything that goes on. Not leaving self, basically, not leaving body and going out of body because things are so bad. Message, relationship, completion, and the tower's coming out on that. So that's the shift, and then it's complete. So you might have experienced it. I do feel I'm talking about what's just happened over the moon, even though I didn't do a reading at the moon. And that's kind of what they're saying now. I feel like I'm going to put another one out. Seven of Cups, emotions, dark to light, Five of Swords. So the ending of the battle of dark to light is when you come into feeling good over feeling bad, most of the time, nearly all of the time. Whatever script it is that you're running, that's even on behalf of your twin. So whatever program that you're still running that's coming through, you know, of their misery or their, you know, animosity towards life, basically, is the deletion of that program coming through you, and that's the end of it. So, and that is actually, like I say, it's an arrival in a place. It's like, okay, well, this might be with me forever, but I'm just going to still feel all right because I know what it is. Don't need to know anymore. I know what's been all this time. Yes, it might be, you know, it could be a little annoying to have someone's energy moving through me all the time, but that's not going to stop me getting on with my life. I've already made some plans this week. So, and those plans are shifting everything as well. Because the more plans I make and the more attempts I make to move on, the more it's shifting the whole scenario, because I can't actually move on until he's back. But it's like a tug of war, right? So I'm pulling it in the other direction. This plan, that plan, putting plans into place, meetings, this kind of stuff, talking to people, moving it on. Let's have another one out on the end card. Justice. So again, that's just right now. And it's also 11, which is November. So I don't know. It's here, but it isn't here yet. It's just not here yet. That's what I've got to say. That's what's going on for me, and that's why I needed to say what's going on for me, because I'm not going to be back now unless it happens, and I'm just leaving this all behind now and moving on. Eight of Swords, mental connection. 10 of Cups, happiness in relationship and completion again. 3 of Pentacles, creation in the physical dimension, changing in the vibration. So that's what's been thrown up to shift through vibrational connection, love, romance, Knight of Cups on its way, and timing, Wheel of Fortune. So that's it. Again, it's just like I keep getting, when I say these things, right, like now, and the Justice card, and this card, I'm just getting a dead end in my head. There isn't anything in front of it. It can't go anymore. I've never had that before like that. I've maybe hoped for it to be like that and wished for it, you know, to all be over. but I've never felt such a strong, like, I can't go, there's nowhere to go. And it's not me personally I can't go. It's just that the energy doesn't go anywhere. It's just like a black, there's just like nothingness beyond it, beyond that. So that's it. It's got to be done, right? Form showing up, Page of Pentacles. Eight of Pentacles, physical connection, coming back in maybe. Fear again, Seven of Swords, and Justice, and coming out on that, which is everything right with the fear. This is just how I put my cards away. I always put them back in like this, then you get another card every time. The Moon, having worked with the Moon maybe, or coming out of the blue, unseen. Oh, Three of Wands in the vibration, Ten of Pentacles, completion in the physical. And then we go one more, an Ace of Cups, love comes from love. Love comes back from love. So maybe that's also got something to do with the fact it's like, you know, that fairy tale about the three bears, like the bed was too big and the bed was too small. Oh, the bed was just right. So maybe that's the three as well. And maybe that's the three relationships that I've had to have. My brother, not right. My nephew, not right. My twin, maybe it'll be right. And the cards said it, didn't they? They said happiness and joy. Page of Swords message. And that three coming out on that again, the pain created through the pain, process. What else are we going to get? Hanged Man, process. King of Swords, him again, mental energy, complete. Again, physically complete. Seven of Pentacles, fruition. And the 10 again, happiness in relationship and completion. Another one, Ace of Cups, the Lovers. And I could see that behind, but I didn't pick it up where it was. I just picked it up wherever it was. Just so you know, I'm not doing anything shifty. 10 of Swords and 8 of Wands. So we've had all the 8s out. That's coming in the vibration. What is in the vibration coming? And I think that's it. Let's just go one more. Oh, there he is again. The Page of Swords wants to come out. Message. And Nine of Pentacles, woman in her power. Let's get one more for that. Is going to be where we're going to go. Let's just have a shuffle and see. One last card. Clarification. What's it going to be? Oh my God. It's the Page of Swords again. It's the message. So that's just what it is, right? That's what they're saying. So I'm going to leave it at that. And maybe I'll see you later. I'm sure I will, because it's got to be now. So it's got to be back, right? Anyway, lots of love. Take care. Bye.